Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. This is I'm Krylios, Team Rayceen Productions, MC and producer. And joining me today, I have the one, the only, the legendary Rayceen Pendarvis. Hello, Rayceen.
Bam! Greetings and salutations, everyone. We are live.
We are live and we have a fabulous cadre of guests with us today. So I'm going to give everyone a chance to introduce themselves, starting with Carly.
Hi, I'm Carly Harvey, also known as DC's Queen of the Blues, and Whammy winning artist, all that wonderful stuff.
Next, Amy.
I'm Amy Sedman. I run Story District, which is we coach people how to tell the stories of their lives and bring them to the stage, or the boardroom, or wherever.
Awesome, awesome. Next, we have Broderick.
Hello, all. Broderick Clavery here, actor, creative, and podcaster of Pause and Play.
Awesome. And we have Cicely.
Hi, I'm Cecily, and I'm a vocalist and a songwriter from Washington, D.C., and I do soul and jazz and folk influenced music. And like Carly said, also Whammy Award winning. So thanks for having me.
Perfect. All right. So, welcome everyone to the February 2022 edition of Team Rayceen Forum. Each month on first Tuesdays, I will moderate a discussion about current events and pop culture. So, now that we are here, let us pose for the screenshots. Ready? 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. And another one. Perfect. All righty. So let us get into it. Let's start the discussion with some recent headlines compiled by our producer, Czar. I want to see what, and any thoughts, any comments you have on some of these things that have happened. So let's start off with a couple. Singer Trey Songz faces new sexual assault allegations. Rapper Jim Jones reveals his first kiss was with his mother. Actor MJ Rodriguez becomes first transgender woman to receive a Golden Globe for acting. Anyone has a comment on any of those stories?
Who would like to go? Well, let me talk about Jim Jones and his mother. I hope his mother showed him how to French kiss, but like with her hands, or maybe on some fruit, or maybe, just gave him a visual, and that did it on him, because I just couldn't picture that.
I mean, who wants to actually picture that?
So I was a lifeguard a long time ago, and there was a woman that came to the pool all the time, like one of those that's like always there, so just like extra tan.
Mhm.
And she brought her kids, and she would do this performative thing where her little child, I don't think he was more than 5, she would French kiss him and like ask for an audience. Yeah, and I was young. I didn't know what I should do. Actually, I'm not even sure what I would do. I'm not sure what thoughts for him. What is the? I don't know.
Cringe.
I say
Cringe, and
for
say that. Cringe, and say that is inappropriate with your child. It's okay to kiss your child, like on their face or their forehead, or when they're babies on their lips. French kissing is a little too much.
French
Yeah.
kissing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely say that's a CPS moment. As funny as it is, which it's not really, that's sexual assault. And a lot of heterosexual folks don't like to call a thing a thing. And the mother is sexually assaulted Jim Jones. But because hypermasculinity is a thing and people think it's okay when a woman does it to a boy or a man, it is regarded as, oh, it was just a little. No, it's sexual assault. If it was with queer folks, people would be up in arms, but because it's heterosexual people, it's
Yeah,
regarded
if a father
as
made out
something
with.
that's cute. Yeah.
Yeah.
This would
Yeah.
never fly if it was a queer person. People would be up in arms.
Yeah, we were mortified, but we felt like we didn't know what to do. But you're right.
CPS, baby.
You do
CPS.
something. Yeah.
I personally, if that happened to me, I would not reveal that. I would not tell that story. That's a story I
Right.
would not tell publicly. You know, I feel like I would address it in another way, saying it's inappropriate, you know, in a different setting to do that with your child. I feel like
Right.
you should have that conversation with your children through visual aid and having a conversation where you're teaching them about sex and love and all of those other things in that realm of finding out what it is to engage with someone you like or you love. But Trey
Right.
Songz, let's get on him. Really? What happened? What's
I
really
guess
another one?
there have been multiple allegations before in the past. So new ones coming out aren't really surprising to me. There should be some type of reckoning when it comes to that. I think where there's smoke, there's fire, and there's been, just a lot of different things coming out from multiple women
Didn't
about
Kiki Palmer have an incident with him where she felt
yeah,
very
yeah.
uncomfortable? She
Mm-hmm.
talked
She
about
surely
that.
did. And
Mhm.
Wendy, lovely, well, not lovely, but she made a joke about it. She brought it up on her show. And
Mm-hmm.
again, it was like regarded as, you know, just like, oh, well, why wouldn't you want that from Trey Songz? Because no is no.
Yeah, that's kind of the conversation that's been around it. But I hope something does really happen with that. It's just
Mhm.
been a talk for way too long without, any movement on, something
I
when
think
it
too many
does.
entertainers get a pass. They get a pass
Yeah.
because they're
Yeah.
entertainers and they have money and they have power and they have these publicists and they have these people all behind them.
Mhm.
But then this what bothers me. It is also an issue, like we say, when it comes to color, how folks who are not people of color, who are predators, and how that is it played out, and it's a power play in a dynamics, especially when we talk about men and women, especially with men. Women, they will downplay it if it happens with a woman or a woman who's in power, in charge. If it happens, oh yeah, well she's just a cougar. But
Right.
wrong is wrong. But with men, it has been like this power dynamics from music to film and so
Mhm.
many realms where these men, and then child, it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot with that makes me feel very uncomfortable. People need to call people on it, and they need to talk about it, and they need to address it, and they need to hold them accountable.
I think it's
Yeah.
also, sorry, real quick, Cecily.
Go ahead.
I think it's also just important to talk about intersectionality, which is why a lot of straight black men do not understand their role in upholding white supremacy. So this is just a man who's using his privilege, and economically or socially rather, but also the fact that he's a man, right? So he uses his male privilege to force himself onto somebody, and then of course he tapped into, a lot of wealthy black folks, black men particularly, try to use that line, or get on that fence of I have money, I have power. In the same way, if a white man does it, it's not going to work out the same for you. That's what a lot of black men need to realize. They'll get
But
on you
then,
quicker.
here's I'm gonna play devil advocate. Here's another thing. Sometimes there is a downside because some folks put yourself, if you know that somebody has this inkling or make you feel, first of all, I don't put myself in no unsafe positions. I'm not going in any married rooms, married men or married women rooms, hotel rooms. If we having a meeting, we're having a business meeting. And then I'm not going to the hotel rooms late at night, not by myself. I'm going with my entourage, my manager, my publicist, my dog, my cat, the fish, everybody's coming with me, so everybody's coming. My grandmother, everybody coming. And and then I have been in settings with entertainers where you have women and men who are those who are known to get down, the superheads of the world. And that's what they do. And they go in there with the mindset is, I'm the superhead of the world. Y'all know why I'm here. Let's play the game. And if the game is not played the way I want it, then I'm going to flip the script and say, well, you put me or you set me up. And then it's a downside to that because some people that's what they do. That's the world that they live in, and they're the superheads of the world. Don't cry rape. if that's what you do, if that's who you are. You know what I'm saying? Because I have been in some settings where I was saying, now wait a minute, honey. Now wait a minute. Now you can't back up if he's short on his coin, or if he didn't pay your rent, or if he didn't do this. Now y'all in the game and y'all playing the game. So don't put yourself in them realms if you're not prepared to play with.
And real quick to that, just because I want to make sure we don't, because like that can border just in terms of victim, like blaming a victim. But in our field, we have to be mindful that there are people in power. And sometimes to get where we want to get, we might encounter them, even if it isn't like you actually engage with that person. It is the simple fact that I have something you want and you have a choice. I can spin it either way. Like, even if you don't do anything with me, I can choose to say, oh, you did do something with me because we have, a connection. I have the upper hand in this case. Like, so I get what you're saying. I just think we have to be mindful that, sometimes just predatory people are predatory. There's nothing we could do about it. I mean, there's things we could do about it, but I can only say that in the streets. Can't say it on here. I believe in violence in that sense. But go ahead.
That's what I wanted to say, is that I just hope that there's some accountability, because I think that, like someone stated before, in the music industry, there is a lot of sexual assault that happens in situations that are supposed to be business situations, right? Where you think, oh, I'm going to the studio to write or to do this, something related to creating and being an artist, and then you're taken advantage of, and there's not enough people around to protect people in those situations. And people take advantage because they know that, you want to get put on, you want to get some spotlight, you want to get introduced to somebody else. And so people take advantage of that. And I think, like Krylios said, where there's smoke, there's fire. So, Rayceen, there's definitely people in the world who are manipulators, who try to use things to get something else, and will lie and, will be two-faced about things. But if there's multiple reports about him being an abuser, or, then I think that I just hope that he's held accountable in some way that makes the victims of his assaults feel seen and heard.
Yes, that is so important. That is so important. All right, so let's move on to some new topics. Let's go with actors Lisa Bonet and Jason Momoa announced their divorce. Nick Cannon is going to be a father for the 8th time, and Rihanna announces her pregnancy. So let's go. I want to jump into the Lisa Bonet and Jason Momoa announcing their divorce. That was quite surprising to me. I mean, I don't know them. I don't know their personal life or anything.
I just tell it, you know the truth. I'm his mistress, and I broke up the marriage. Tell it, y'all hear it.
But I always really enjoyed them together as a couple, and it was great to see them. And so I was just very surprised when I saw that come out, but they seem to be amicable. All the girls are giving conscious uncouplings nowadays. Everybody wants to make, everybody say, we're still great friends. We just don't get down like that anymore, so that's what they're going with. Any thoughts on this?
I think it's so sad. Like, I was thinking, like, wow, this is a celebrity couple where like two people are really hot and they're doing their own things in different avenues of the industry, but still like maintaining it. So I was like, oh man, crush my dreams. But I think it's also really awesome too. I think as we evolve as just people, and we're in the age of Aquarius right now, so it's Aquarius season and we're in the age of Aquarius. That's cool. But anyway, people are evolving and just realizing that maybe lifetime partnerships are not realistic for many people because we live longer. We don't have the societal pressures of like, it looks bad if you get divorced. So just acknowledging this has run its course and we might do damage if we try to force it to go longer. I also respect that. And now there's room for me, for Jason.
I love
He's my celebrity boyfriend. So.
I love that. Nick Cannon being a father for the 8th time. Thoughts?
Why?
all I'm gonna say about that is that I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna be a hater. I'm just gonna keep quiet about that.
Let's call it.
It's
That's
not
a
me.
pipe laying fool. And when you everybody wants some of that pipe, honey. He's got it, and everybody wants it. It's
Very
giving.
fertile.
It's
I mean,
giving. Wrap your hands around. Everybody wants some of that pipe, and he
those
is
swimmers
laying.
are swimming,
And he is
honey.
laying pipe down, and all the pipe layers of the world have all lined up. They have lined up, honey. If I can take a number, I might be number 12 down too. So I ain't mad at him. I ain't mad at him, honey. No, honey, child.
I will say this: if he wants to be a father, like an actual present father, kudos to him. If it's because he has money and he feels like he could do whatever he wants, and also wants to create this living legacy while not being present, it's hella corny.
It's a tribe. He's creating a
Yeah.
tribe, honey.
Again, though, this is like just the ways in which society will like hype a man up for doing this crap. But if a woman has children with multiple men, it's always like, damn, she's loose. She's a slut. She can't do. This is some slutty ass behavior if you want to use that.
At this point, it's 6. He has 6 children's mothers, correct? 5 or 6. But that's quite a few, you know. I mean, it's giving concubine, but you know, I don't judge, so it's cute.
Right.
I mean, if that's what he wants to do, girl. Go
I just want to be mindful
for the children's sake.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking about.
He's a present father, because
But
it's hard
I
to
must
juggle
say
6
this.
women, 8 children in different households.
I must say this to his defense. He is, from what I know and the people in my circle, he is them twins. He is a very good father to those twins. Mariah's kids.
They're the originals.
Right.
Yeah.
And in fact, let me call her.
Okay. But yeah, that's all I'm thinking about is I hope he's present in these children's lives, because it's not going to be valuable to them when they get older. They're just like, oh yeah, our dad was Nick Cannon, but we never saw him.
Yeah, it's one thing to pay. It's one thing, you know, to have them lush with financial funds and all of that. But, you know, there really is a specific type of, you know, fatherly care and love that I hope that they all receive, the whole nation of the Cannons.
But we know they're not. He doesn't have the people of that caliber of celebrity don't have the capacity. They all have nannies. They're like focused on their career. I don't know what show he's doing now, but like
he has a talk show. I believe that's in syndication.
So he's doing some show now that's occupying quite a bit of his time. Plus, I think all the press involved in that. And he does take special care with Mariah's kids. So where is the time for the other 6?
And many of these new ones are really young anyways. They're like babies. Like, so they're not like saying, Daddy, I need this or that, because they hardly can talk right now. So let's see how this looks.
It's giving me Predator. It's giving me Predator. I'm going to be honest.
Just wrap it up, or, you know, this is not on our list of topics, but get some hot sauce, whatever. I don't know.
The Drake way, honey.
If we're being fair, like all of us on this conversation, I'm sure everyone watching knows about Nick Cannon, how many babies he's fathered in the last few years. So all the women who are coming to him know as well. And they, they're adults making their own decisions about what's best for them and their children and their lives, you know, so is he. So that's why personally, I don't know them, so I'm just not saying that.
Right? I don't know them, honey. But who I'm really happy for, who just announced her pregnancy, Rihanna. I've been a Rihanna stan since I was a little child from Pondy Replay days. I literally used to be, you know, a Twitter stan of Rihanna back in my high school days. I was a literal stan. Like in my bio, I would have, when she would tweet me or retweet me, I would put it in my bio. I was like a full stan. Back in the day, the first time I saw her in concert, I almost died. Not really, but low-key. So I'm so happy for her that she is pregnant. You know, come through. Congrats to her. I know that she wanted this for some time.
Me and Beyonce are planning the baby shower. Oh, I love
Congrats.
You got a lot of connects.
it. We playing the baby shower, child.
She looks
No,
so
like
great. So
I
go
don't
ahead,
know
Sophie.
Rihanna. Like similarly, I don't know Rihanna, but I'm so happy. There's no reason I should be this happy. I was so excited. I told my husband, I was like, Rihanna's having a baby. He was like, okay. I was like, you aren't excited?
But I like Rihanna.
I love her. I
and
love
that
her.
thickness. Oh, her thickness, even before she was pregnant. I like the thick Rihanna. You know, thick Rihanna, honey. I want her to stay thick. Hold on to some of that baby fat. I feel like she should breastfeed. And hold on to some of that baby fat because I like that thick Rihanna.
I'm just hoping with the new pregnancy and after it's a wonderful, beautiful, safe, healthy, fabulous pregnancy with a wonderful, beautiful, safe, healthy child. And she's living a wonderful, beautiful, safe, healthy life that she will give us some wonderful, beautiful, safe, not safe, honey.
Unsafe. We
Dangerous
don't want
music,
safe.
baby. Yes, I want some good music coming from all the feelings and the love and everything
Right.
from
Right.
the beautiful miracle of a child. I'm hoping,
I'm very.
and that's just me,
Yeah.
selfishly.
I'm also no. I also like. I'm also just happy that at this stage in her life, she's having it because she has built up the career that, she doesn't have to go away from the child because
Mhm.
she has she has the support financially to spend time with her baby. I also want to highlight her because one of the many things that I love about her is her philanthropy, and
Mhm.
she just donated 15 million with her foundation, 15 million to climate change, to fighting climate change, and doing research out of the eight. So there's eight organizations she donated to. They are for Black and Indigenous folks. So a lot of the organizations she's focusing on are the communities that will be most directly impacted by climate change. So I stand for her in terms of music, but also just the fact that she's a bomb ass human being.
Yes, and
Yes.
she, of course, was announced as one of Barbados' national heroes. So come through. She is truly an ambassador. Live
Come
for
on,
her.
like her
And
child
did
like
y'all
mom.
but did y'all know that ASAP Rocky is also half Bayesian? So the baby's gonna be
Oh,
Full on Bayesian.
Bayesian
What?
through and through.
okay, that's
I love
great.
it.
Broderick, I see you.
I
All
love
right,
it.
so this is sadder news. So there's been quite a bit of tragedy in the news, including Chelsea Christ, former Miss USA, Kevin Ward, the mayor of Hyattsville, Maryland, dying by suicide, as well as the sons of Sinead O'Connor and Regina King, both dying by suicide. Any thoughts on these tragedies?
I thought about that. Somebody. I talk about this openly sometimes.
Mhm.
It's someone who has been early on in my life. I thought that I was too much for the world,
Mhm.
and I didn't know where I was going or who I was. I was scared of what is before me today. And I thought
Mhm.
about it and I contemplated suicide. I remember that being a very young child, just wanting to check out, just wanting to say, I'm over it. I cannot be or exist any longer. I don't know what this is. And I thought about that because when I heard and then I start hearing all of these people who were committing suicide and it to be in a place so dark and just say I just want to check out and give up. Such a hard thing. It's such an emotional thing. And then some people say it's very selfish, and then some people don't know what people are going through, and people don't know what people are dealing with. That notion to say I just want to check out, I just want to give up, I don't want to be here today for whatever reason, and it just led me to believe that I always, sometimes, no, always, when my spirit says call people, check on people, send messages, hey, I'm thinking about you, I love you, are you all right? Da-da-da. I do that randomly, just all like every day. I did it early today. Just I pick like 10 people on my phone, just who I haven't talked to in a while, just to send them some encouraging words, say, I'm thinking of you, I'm sending some love your way. And just coming through what we're coming through with COVID and all of this, people mentals people are dealing with so much mental stuff, pulling them left and pulling them right. And some people just say, I don't want to be here anymore. I just want to check out. And it's heartbreaking to see how it is just, it's every day you turn on the news, somebody's committed suicide. And think about the ones we don't hear about.
Certainly. So it's so sad. I heard something. Regina King had not given an official statement, but I think it was Vivica A. Fox who came out and she had checked on Regina and stuff. And my mom called me because I'm around the same age as Regina King's son.
Oh, wow.
And my mom called me the day, I think, when it happened, and I it wasn't even on my mind, but she just randomly called me, just checking in. And I mean, we talk so often, but this check-in was giving me very just like, check in, honey. Like, I knew she was checking in. And I was like, this is really, really important, because honestly, truly, you just never, no matter how close you are with someone, many times you truly never know what they are going through. And, sometimes these things take you by surprise, and you wonder, what I could have done, how I could have helped you in any way. And, for those who are still living, don't put that burden on yourself as well, because you don't know what you could have done or could have not done. And, sometimes people just, as Rayceen said, just don't, they can't really go through it anymore. So,
and they just check it out. People have to talk. I feel like people feel like they're suffering alone. Mm-hmm. And people, this isolation is such to the point now, people, because we've been so isolated, and people are isolated, and people just get in their own world and everything consumes them, and people just say, hey, I don't want to talk about this. But when people hear other people have thought about it, when I've talked about it and shared it in places or on stages and talk about it, afterwards a flood of people come over to me and we start talking, and it was like, Rayceen, I felt the same way. Oh, I almost tried to kill myself. I felt like I wasn't enough, or I felt I was too much, or I didn't know what was going on, and I felt so alone. And then you tell people you're not. Yeah. You have to understand that your light is the way it is. Your light is so bright. There's so much that you contribute to the world that makes you unique. And sometimes people sometimes tell people you're too much. And you know how you've been in a space sometimes and you feel like when you walk in, people are like, you can feel the hate right away. And sometimes that's a lot to deal with when you just want to go in and be. When you want to go, and creative people, when you want to go in and create, and you want to sing, and you want to dance, and you want to do all this, and then sometimes people tell you, oh, tone it down, you're a little too much, or you're not this, or you're too that, or you're too that, and it starts messing with you here. And if you don't have whatever that is, mentally, physically, or have an outlet such as, or a support system, you're in trouble. You are in trouble. Or if you don't begin to say, I need help, somebody talk to me, somebody help me. And then some people go on Facebook and some people beat them down by like, child, Facebook is not your therapy. But sometimes that's the only way they know to talk about what they need. And soon when I see stuff, I'm sending folks, here's a suicide hotline. They got a gay and lesbian suicide hotline. They got a trans suicide. They got children that they got all these different hotlines for whatever you're going through. Or I say, call me, or I'll call them on Messenger and say, hey, let's talk. I remember,
that's so important.
I'm not going to talk about this one particular person. I'm not going to share her name. I saw something she posted on Facebook.
Quick, Rayceen, because Zara's telling me we need to move on.
Well, who is this? It's okay. Okay. So yeah, but I'm just saying, we talked from 11 o'clock to 5 in the morning, and she was getting ready to kill herself. And this was quite some time ago. And we shared, and I told her my story, and we talked, and we laugh about it now. She said, do you remember when I was getting ready to kill myself and you talked to me to 5 o'clock in the morning and you brought me back? And sometimes we have to do that when you see, because people they drop little nuggets when they're going through. And when we see the nuggets, we got to reach out immediately because somebody is suffering.
Certainly, certainly. All right. Let's speaking of the dearly departed, does anyone have anything to say about some of the celebrities that has passed away since the new year? Sidney Poitier, James M. Fume, Ronnie Spector, Bob Saget, Louis Anderson, Meatloaf, Thierry Mugler, Andre Leon Talley, Thich Nhat Hanh, and of course on New Year's Eve, Betty White passed away at age 99. Any thoughts about the dearly departed?
I
These are
wanted to
big, big
say
losses. Oh, you go ahead.
they are big losses. It's the list is so long, right? For it just to be the first month of the year, it seems
And we
like.
just started February today.
It just started February, but I just wanted to speak on James and Tume for a second because I feel like a lot of people don't really know who he is or how important he was. Um, you know, he was a bass player primarily, but also songwriter, producer, artist. You know, he had a group called Mtume in the late 70s and 80s. And, you know, their biggest song was Juicy Fruit, which then you know, Notorious B.I.G. sampled, but he did so many other things. Like he wrote The Closer I Get to You, and everybody knows that song. He actually co-wrote that song. And he also produced and wrote for lots of different artists, but he was also an amazing just person in activism in the movement. He had a talk radio show in New York City for years that, you know, was all about uplifting the community and speaking to you know, the hearts and minds of Black people in particular. And he was just, you know, such an amazing person. So I just wanted to speak on him just because I felt like a lot of people don't really know about him. And then I just wanted to say about Thich Nhat Hanh. Oh gosh, when I heard Thich Nhat Hanh died, it took me out. Like I had to cancel all my plans. I couldn't stop crying because like he's literally somebody who changed my life just from his writings. And if people who aren't familiar with him, you know, he's a Zen Buddhist master and teacher. They called him Thai, which means teacher. And, you know, he's from Vietnam. He was exiled from Vietnam, and he helped convince Martin Luther King that he should come out publicly against the Vietnam War, you know, which for MLK was a big deal at the time and drew him a lot of criticism. But, you know, Thich Nhat Hanh, just the way that he dedicated his life to love in the smallest ways and in the grandest ways, you know, from fighting for social justice and peace, and also just, you know, telling people how to love themselves, how to be present with themselves, you know. And when I started posting about how much his writings and his life meant to me, so many other people that I know, but I didn't know that they, you know, were into his writings and had read, were coming to me saying, you know, oh, this book changed my life, you know. So I just wanted to lift him up. And I know that he talked about how there is no such thing as death and birth. It's all just energy moving. So, you know, it's like we mourn the physical presence of all these people, but you know, it really comes down to just sitting in gratitude for being able to experience their energy and in their physical form, you know, at the same time that we're in this physical form. So that's what I'm trying to remind myself as I was grieving his passing in particular, is just to sit in gratitude.
That is beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. Switching to giving people their flowers while they're here. Rayceen and I had the honor of interviewing singer Martha Wash in January. So we were so excited about that. Rayceen, what would you like to say about that experience?
It was the best birthday present ever. It was the day before my birthday. It was the best birthday present ever.
Yes.
Oh my God. Anybody knows my birthdays are very rough. This one was a very rough birthday. But sitting and talking to Martha, you know, I tell Martha, she's like the Auntie Martha to all the gays, and, you know, but to everyone. And we talked about so many experiences. It was just a joy. I love Martha Wash. I feel like the icons are, they, you know, all of people, the Beyoncés and the Fantasias and the Lettucey stand on the shoulders of people like Martha Wash, Linda Clifford, Thelma Houston, Melba Moore, you know, all of those women, and they stand on the shoulders of Sarah Vaughan, you know, Diana Washington, Ella Fitzgerald, Billie Holiday, you know, they all, and the platforms. And then when you think about the next generation of those women who all of it is all part of the segue into, when you think of the next generation, I think of the Harveys and the Cecilys of the world, how y'all stand on all of these shoulders of all of these women and these pioneers, that when I hear you sing and I hear these inklings and I sit and I close my eyes and you take me on a journey, it's because of all of the women that gone before you and or are here, but it's, you learn from them. You take a little bit of that spice, you take a little bit of that, and you make your gumbo, and it just all mixes up so well. So I love it. I just love it.
Awesome. We also have several new candidate interviews now available on our election 2022 playlist. Please watch them and go to headcount.org to check your voter status. We also interviewed the duo behind As You Are Bar. We want to share that since our interview, they were approved by their ANC and plan to open in March. Now, for our final topic, I want everyone to share one thing they have enjoyed in the last month. This can be a new book, film, TV series, music, website, restaurant, venue, service, anything like that. So everyone give me one thing you've enjoyed in the last month, starting with Carly.
Okay, in the last month, well, this isn't new, but I have done it because I'm a huge Harry Potter nerd, and I did like a whole Harry Potter marathon, and it was like inspired by the reunion that they had done.
I literally just watched the reunion last night before bed. I just watched it last night.
I cried. I was like, oh my God. And it gave us so much insight into understanding why, I guess some of the readers and some of the people who are like passionate fans were like, ew, like, you know, Ron and Hermione, it just didn't gel well because they felt like brother and sister. So like it was kind of cringy to watch. But anyway, I watched all of it and I stayed up till 4 a.m. and it was great. And I started stocking my Poshmark closet. My store is called Chesapeake Beats. And I've also been staying up till 4 a.m. posting clothes in my Poshmark. And I enjoy the money, so yes.
Awesome. All right, next, Amy.
I want to squeeze in two. Number one, a shout out to Betty White. I went down a rabbit hole looking at all her stuff. I mean, she's such a badass. I didn't even realize what a badass she is. I mean, her career is so long and just so rich. She wasn't just, first of all, she's hilarious. She's really funny. And that's a thing I follow. I'm a champion for women comedians. I think it's a big deal. I think there's such a power dynamic and it's been a hard field to break into, and women aren't funny, that whole thing. And so just the fact that she's super hilarious, but she was a host of a show way back in black and white, and she produced and she wrote, and she's just like, it's amazing to me. So love Betty White. She is awesome. And I just finished watching the morning show on Apple. I gotta say, especially with what we were talking about earlier, they did a really good job, I think, especially of the scenes sort of helping a window into what it means to be a how the predator is like, it was consensual, and where there's such, it's just two people's words, they are alone, but sort of getting a real understanding of these two polar opposite impressions of what happened, and how the predator creates a story and a lie for themselves, so they truly don't believe that they had predatory behavior or put somebody in a situation or forced them. But you can see by the way they did this whole scene how impossible the power dynamic was for this young woman who didn't realize what she was getting into and had no idea how to get out of it. And anyway, and Broderick, thank you, props to you for bringing up several times just the awareness around that perspective. But I I recommend it. I think they did a really good job. I just did the first season, but it was so good.
Awesome. Thank you, Amy. Broderick, what about you?
Well, I am a Janet stan. So this is a vinyl I bought a while ago. So I've been enjoying this vinyl. But I enjoyed on January 28th and 29th, Janet came out with a documentary about her life. And I just, like, I think everybody should watch it. I think they attempted to erase her footprint in music. And it just always pisses me off how Black women are always undermined. And she is the blueprint for all of the artists out now. She opened doors in ways that, it was not available or didn't have access. She was totally about autonomy for Black women, for women, period. But she was about autonomy. She was about her voice. She was about being a producer. And I think a lot of her attributes and to music get overlooked. But I think everyone should watch that documentary because it really shows how much she put into the music industry and how undervalued she was. And hopefully this brings back that value that was lost due to a certain somebody whose name we're not going to say.
Yeah. Cecily.
Okay, so I gotta watch the Janet documentary. I don't have cable, so somebody tell me how to find it because I can't figure it out. But the thing, somebody message me, let me know how to watch it. But the thing that I really enjoyed this month, so I've been trying to find TV shows. I love TV shows. I've been trying to find TV shows that don't have excessive violence or unrealistic drama or just nastiness, just like stuff that kind of just leaves you feeling like a little worn out at the end, things that fill you up instead. And I found this one show, shout out to Apple TV. It's another Apple TV show. It's called Acapulco. And it's the story of this guy who grew up in Acapulco, Mexico, and he wants to work at this really fancy hotel. And it's like him telling the story to his nephew about what he did and how it worked out. But it's a really beautiful story. It's great acting, really good writing, a fresh perspective because I believe it's all starring, Mexican or Mexican American actors, and the writing as well, I think, is done by Mexican American and the director even too. So it's a great show. So I'd highly recommend Acapulco. I want people to watch it so we can get a season 2 because I need a season 2.
Awesome. Are you seeing anything to share? Yeah, you've seen
yeah. Can I pick 3 things? Well, 4 things.
One. I have a thing at 1, so we have to do 1.
I can't pick just 1.
We gotta wrap it up in 1 minute.
I can't just pick. Okay, well, Abbott Elementary. I've been enjoying Abbott Elementary. I've been loving. I am so addicted to Abbott.
I've been enjoying it too.
It makes me really. It's a fun show.
It's so hilarious. I'm laughing now just thinking about it. And a new episode tonight. So yes, I like that. Yes, give Abbott Elementary its props. So quickly, everyone, since we've got to wrap this up. I just want shameless plugs. So starting first with Cecily.
Yes, thank you. So I will be performing at Blues Alley on March 2nd. That is almost exactly a month from now. It's my first show with my full band since COVID hit 2 years ago. So I'm very excited about that. So March 2nd, I'll be at Blues Alley. And if you're in New York City on March 4th, I will be at Chelsea Table and Stage in the Chelsea neighborhood of Manhattan. And this is my birthday as well. March 4th is my birthday. So I'm celebrating my birthday all that week. And all these shows are inspired by the Bell Hooks book, All About Love. So I'm honoring her through the show, through the music and the storytelling. So I hope you guys can join me in DC and New York first week in March.
Awesome. Thank you, Cecily. Carly.
Awesome. I'm definitely going to go see you at Blues Alley, Cecily. So exciting. So I will be at St. Vincent on February 10th, and then also out in Reston at Calypso's for Valentine's Day. St. Vincent will be a full band show, and Calypso's will be a a solo show. And in May, I'll be going to Memphis to compete in the International Blues Challenge, which was postponed. It was supposed to be like just ended last week. So we have time. And then the day after I win in Memphis, I'll be competing at the Apollo May 11th. So everybody get on a bus and go up to New York and scream for me really loud, because it is still based on a sound meter. So we need all the support for that. So I hope to see all of you all there.
Awesome. All right, next, Amy.
Our next show is at the Kennedy Center on March 18th. It's Real Hot Girl Shit. It's part of our Funnier Than Fiction series. So, funny stories by extraordinary women. Get your tickets. But we are also starting we are continuing our partnership with Team Rayceen Productions. Woo-hoo! On Outspoken, our annual Pride show, but we've expanded it to add 3 workshops, and we've brought Kennedy Center in on it. So we're gonna have 3 free workshops for the LGBTQIA plus community to learn about storytelling. It's taking place once a month, February, March, April at the Kennedy Center, and then we will be doing our show on Millennium Stage. And everybody out there that's listening, consider coming to the workshop, pitching your story. That's how we do it. We get people from the public and we coach. And Rayceen has done it and Krylios has done it. And I welcome everybody on this panel and beyond.
Certainly. All right, next we have Broderick.
Okay, so at the end of the month of February, I will be doing a reading. We're not sure if it's going to be virtual yet or if it's going to be in person based on, how COVID likes to show their ass, so it depends on that. And this is a play that's written by a playwright friend of mine, but his name is Aaron Coleman. It's titled Where Have All the Fairies Gone? So that will be happening at the end of the month. If you in New York, pull up.
We are right here, the Fairies. All right. So thank you for everyone for being here. Let me share this by Broderick so everyone can get that. Here it is. Where have all the fairies gone? So for everyone, thank you all for being here. If you want to follow me, you can follow me at It's Krylios. To learn more about Rayceen Pendarvis, you can go to rayceen.com, and please follow Team Rayceen Productions on social media, and please subscribe and like and comment and all of that. But most of all, thank you for watching. Bye, everyone.